Alright, folks, you've arrived for the 4th episode here of Challenge Series 22. This one kicks off with the Stars and Stripes Invitationals and ends with 2 more normal races. The Stars and Stripes Invitational has smaller grids than some other championships will, and also has a lot of vehicle overlap. So, there are some drivers that appear in literally all 3 races. Just put it that way. I imagine there being more American cars than there were, and it's not like there really could be any more American cars than there are, so it's just kinda, benefits of, Gran Turismo 4 being that, Gran Turismo 4 had way more than 100 cars in it. It had 700 and something. And there were a lot of American cars that I'd kill to see in this game. But they are not here, so... We have arrived for the first race of the Stars and Stripes Invitational. We are at the Blue Moon Bay infield circuit. And the player car is Madison Palmer's 69 Z28. Yeah, every car here is from America, and it just ends up being a hodgepodge of Camaros, Mustangs, and Corvettes, for the most part. There's a Challenger there, but it's mostly a lot of Corvettes and Camaros. Palmer's already up 2 spots. Oh, goodness. Just had a Corvette-friendly fire there. Some screeches ahead of that Mustang. So that's what they mean when they say that a Camaro is a monster that eats Mustangs. Oh, hi Thomas. You have path racing up ahead. I mean, I guess this is an oval, but, not really. Not like that. Oh, Samuel is loose. Not an easy line to manage. That's double apex. It's a double late apex corner, and having to just hold the inside on it is usually not good, but Madison made it stick anyway. Probably because Samuel was just caught completely off guard, if nothing else. And double overtake on the outside. So all that remains ahead of Madison Palmer are the 675 cars that show up in the race. Riley Blanchard, Barbara Page, and Thrasher are all in 675s to the 625s that I think the rest of the grid is in. Yeah. Wouldn't have thought the modern Camaro would be struggling so much, especially when the modern Mustang is screeching out into the lead. Well, Madison has dealt with one of the 675s, already passing Riley and sending it on Barbara. Taking advantage of that Corvette concept's terrible braking. wish the gaps and intervals worked in this mode. That'd be great, because I have absolutely no idea what the distance is. Yeah, I have hit 2 laps to go. See if anything else. Oh yeah, no. Samuel Jansen's in the 675 cars in the safety car Hellcat. So now he is exactly where he should be. Ahead of everybody else, but not ahead of the 625. Or ahead of the 625s, but no one else. I don't expect to see a whole lot in the way of overtaking for the rest of the race. My ear remains incredibly itchy for no reason. Madison had a run on Thrasher, but Thrasher's car has more power in it. Chucks it around the outside. Does that finish it off? Looks like it does. Why can she stay there? Thrasher will reappear on the inside through the hairpin, but Madison masterfully gets the exit out of the corner. Thrasher with a bit of an awkward exit out of that corner. Yeah, I am now. As expected, it's going to come down to the final straight. Madison's running high. Thrasher running not high. Thrasher running kind of every lane at once, really. Where's that finish line? Oh! Madison gets it. I don't know by how much. Not by much. Wow. Yeah, we thought that the Tokyo Expressway race was close. I think this comes down to like less than a tenth. For sure, less than a tenth. Probably, maybe even just a couple hundredths between Madison, Palmer, and Thrasher, but Palmer is the victor by a chrome bumper, basically. Which was removed from her car, but that's beside the point. Unfortunately, we don't get to see margin of victory in the replays either. So, just like we don't get to see intervals. And then Barbara, despite her terrible brakes, manages to hold on to third place. Ignoring Madison Palmer, it'll be Axel Valentine that leads the 625 category. Ultimately, the big points for Madison, who, you know, spent most of her Challenge Series career picking on the easy targets. So, she's finally proving that she actually could have been racing the big boys the whole time. Alright, we're here for the second race of the Stars and Stripes Invitational. And, well, this one's a less generous mix of categories. Rather, well, actually it's a more even mix, but there's just a lot more 675s in the race. I think it's an even split, really. And the player car is Tyler McIntosh and his his soft top General Lee. soft top both for reasons of the 69 Charger's not in the game and he's just been moved out of the way by my dad, as McCormick just botches that corner. And my dad just steers right through Tyler. Suddenly a cricket. If I know Tyler, and I feel like I do, I've known him for 4 years, he's not gonna like that. I would expect to see some contact in a sec. Yep. As far as Laguna Seca is concerned, this basically is short track racing compared to other... yeah, okay. Compared to other tracks on Gran Turismo, this is basically short track racing. Even though technically Blue Moon Bay's infield circuit is shorter than this track, it's also a higher speed track. Tyler decides to not take him completely out and move on and actually try to win the race. Something that the last time we saw a Dodge driver race, they didn't really do that. So it seemed. Yeah, soft top both because the 69 Charger is not in the game, and also because, well, you probably know what's on the roof normally. I don't necessarily disagree or agree or really waste my time with what it represents, but it's just easier to just not think about it. The nature of Laguna Seca spreads people out pretty easily, unless your name is Bradley Hunter, in which case it apparently doesn't do that. As he is orchestrating a battle for third with Samuel Jansen here. Samuel Jansen's outdone himself, but his vehicle is so big that it barely left any room for Bradley Hunter to go around him. Eventually Hunter will seize the position. I keep thinking cede the position, but that's actually the opposite. That means giving it up. As Tyler has reached this little grouping of 675 cars, he's ahead of the Focus driver already. Thrasher with an ugly exit from the final turn. Tyler will take full advantage. Samuel just straight up backs out of that. Should I hang her on the outside? I guess it worked. I'll be darned. Whoa. Yeah, no one said these cars would be easy to drive. And his final two targets will be Dakota Kingsley and again Riley Blanchard making a second consecutive race. This time the starting grid put her a leg up over Barbara Page and over Thrasher, so she had a better chance to win here at her home track. It's a lot of people's home tracks, though. Jake's, Thrasher's, Riley's, Travis Wilde's, I believe. But, well, only two of them are here, so... Looking at that fastest lap, obviously McIntosh has got the pace to win, but does he have the time? As we're on the last lap, and that's still about 3 seconds to make up to second place, so that's not helping. I think that's just about condemned Tyler to third here with that little slip up there. God, racing this high off the ground must almost be disorienting at times. I can only imagine. Yeah, he is out of time, so unless Dakota Kingsley does something crazy, he does not. So Riley Blanchard will take the victory at Laguna Seca, takes a home track win for herself. There's a yellow flag as McCormick is just absolutely faffing about. Dakota Kingsley and Tyler McIntosh round out the podium. The leading driver that's not from America is Barbara in 8th, so how quite fitting. Mind you, the only ones here that aren't from America are Barbara, she's our Thomas O'Reilly and Mary McCormick, so fitting, you know, it is the American Championship, Stars and Stripes Invitational. It only seems about right that most of the grid is American, driving American cars. On to the final S&S Invitational. And this is an open category, so there's going to be even faster cars. There will be no 625s there. For the third and final race of the S&S Invitational, it's Daytona! And as I mentioned, the 675s are the low end here. The 725s and 750s have been unleashed. As Bradley is just ignoring Hoshizora's existence. In kind, Bradley gets shoved off the circuit. Just like Reen did. O'Reilly is all over the place. The race info is not on the screen. There we go. Reen just had a bit of a surprise there. I think that was just understeer. I don't think really Reen intended to hit anybody there. Down the inside on that focus. Reen is trying not to waste a whole lot of time on these 675s when she's in the top category and has no excuse not to be in the top 5. Same with me and Samuel and Parker and Tyler. But the amount of top speed this Viper is packing shouldn't be any problem. No space is allowed for her though. Probably because nobody had time to give her any. She just appeared all so suddenly. Like 210 at the braking zone. That's probably a top speed record for the Challenge Series up to this point, to say the least. Even the Monza cars weren't doing that. And into the lead. Barbara's horsepower is of some assistance, but her braking abilities were not. A very polarizing automobile is this car. Same with Samuel, if I'm honest. The battle of Ford for second as they attempt to maybe chase down that Viper. But first they must weed out the weak amongst them before they do so. My money's on Carly, because she has a supercar, not a Mustang. Although Ryan Stevens did just pull that off, so I don't really know anymore. Oh, Carly is just gonna send it there. As Samuel under threat from another Mopar driver in the form of Tyler. Please shift. Parker overtakes a Corvette. Into Corvette. Should have bought a better Corvette. That's a running gag. I did not buy a Corvette, and Riley just drove her Corvette into the wall. Carly is maybe trying to pass Thrasher. Almost went 3 wide for Stevens. Thought a little better of the maneuver. That could have been probably disaster if he went through with that. So, as expected, Carly Watts will lead the charge against Hoshizora, who's just about in the frame. Might not be in a second. Yeah, just pretty well clear, doing 211, 213, 214 at the breaking point. Carly's no slouch either, 204 for her GT, so yeah, we're playing with some big numbers here in Stars and Stripes. Bruh. O'Reilly's in a 725 car and he was still behind a Corvette. That said, I guess Thrasher's in 675 car and he's actually 4th place. He's only losing to 2 750s right now. He's ahead of Tyler, Parker, Samuel, and me. And Bird. And Thomas O'Reilly, who should also technically be ahead of him on the category. Parker's boxed himself in behind Tyler and Thrasher. Tyler will make that move into the bus stop. It's about to be the last lap for Reen. And she's got a healthy gap. I'm honestly not too sure Carly's going to be able to do a whole lot about it. Tyler passed them. No, I passed them on that straightaway. I got ahead of Parker and of Thrasher on the main straight. Thrasher plays his cards right. He can maybe hang on to 8th, but I'm pretty sure he's almost definitely going to be hanging on to the category win here. Carly Watts is marginally closer to that Viper ahead. Running a very fast lap right now in her efforts to catch. That's the last real corner of the racetrack, so I think that's a done deal. Ryan Stevens is actually catching Carly too. He's got a better car on the straights. Also, I'm there. So Rin Hoshizora is going to take the win at Daytona. 2 Fords round out the podium, and I'm right behind them. The leading Chevy in a surprising only 5th place. Thrasher remained ahead of Thomas and of Samuel. Samuel actually losing to a 725 and Thrasher's 675 cars. So that's just an ugly outing again for Samuel Jansen. He would have been probably better off running his Hellcat safety car, to be honest. Probably could have finished in roughly the same spot. Instead he would have been getting probably 2nd or 3rd place points rather than last for his category. And, minus points for losing to a 725 car and a 675. And everything else is about normal. And now we head into the, sort of the, not really the filler race of the episode, but it's kind of like that. It's just, it's a simpler race. It's just a 675 event. We have a 675 race coming up next, with a couple of 625s in there. But I don't think there's anything above 675 in this event. Tokyo East, and it's raining. Not a whole lot though. Yeah, the rain will provide an interesting challenge. We're on board with Colin Morris, who's probably not too opposed to the idea of the rain. Being a rallycross driver, he's used to low traction environments. He's used to driving on gravel, so driving on a wet road is probably only a small step in one given direction. Catches Gemini sleeping through the second corner. Or sleeping and or understeering. I also feel like Dakota is sort of a sleeper pick here. He's got a truck. They're all-wheel drive. Though he is on comfort tires. Yeah, whenever it rains, the AI resort back to their default tires, and for some people those are comforts. For some people those are sports tires. I actually want to say that comfort tires get better if the rain gets heavier. So at some point, the likes of Riley and Lynette might be the fastest ones on the track. But for right now, Victory's on intermediates? Hello? I didn't know they could do that. Well, there's Nittery thinking ahead as usual. She's on intermediate tires. I don't think anybody else did. No. I know why she has intermediates available to her. In reality, it's because I actually needed intermediates for a racing event. Because I used the GTO a lot in campaign. Well, her horsepower will suffer now, though, fortunately. But later, who knows what the rain will do. If only I could change the course map to the weather radar, that'd be great. There's little arrow pads to make it look like you could, but I can't. Akira is currently the leader, weathering the water, which admittedly there's not a whole lot of right now. I think it's actually not raining right now. So it's just a damp surface on the racetrack. Obviously Akira, I imagine, knows this road pretty well, so it won't be an easy task for Colin Morris to overtake him. Jonathan Parker has the advantage of an all-wheel drive car, as does Melissa Weiss there, who just slides ahead of Dom DeFrisco. I can't honestly tell if the cars on sports or the cars on comforts are doing better. I mean, with the exception of Colin Morris, it actually seems like most of the top few cars are on sports tires, or comforts. Well, Akira and Colin are not. But Parker is, Blanchard is, Weiss is, Dom is, and then Natsuki is the next car along that isn't. Natsuki just tried the outside of a corner where you don't have to brake. That was never terribly likely to work. Oh, we'll get it stopped, Gemini. Oh! Forget Gemini getting it stopped. How about Honoka getting it stopped? This Honoka just ran Gemini off the road. Nitri needs more rain if she is to remain relevant in this race. I didn't know this thing would reach 180. Unsurprisingly that Dom can reach much more than that. He's hitting speeds close to what we were hitting in the last race. And probably could have hit more if he wasn't in traffic. Excuse me. Colin just wrestling that car through here. He's barely been on the brakes. If anything, he's just accelerating through these high-speed turns. He knows exactly what that focus of his can do here. Oh, it sounds like it's starting to come down again. Oh, it is. Oh, Colin was not ready. The track moisture has increased like several fold, and nobody was ready, really, it looks like. Oh my god! Hang on to it, Dom! The tunnel is about the only place with any sort of solace right now. Suddenly, Nitri is looking like a genius on these intermediates, but the race doesn't have enough laps for it to help. It's a weird way to make a corner. Yeah, just look at how much time she's gained. She's got the better tires. She just, if only this entire track were just corners, Nitri would suddenly be running well. But then we get to any sort of bit of straight-ish road, and she just gets absolutely demolished. However, corners. There's one. Nudge Gina ahead. There's two. And there's three. Easy pickings. Nitri is one of a few cars on the track right now that actually has cornering grip, and isn't skidding away all the time. Parker almost loses control. Dom is continuing to lose control. Everyone's just losing control, and Mirashi's all over Akira's rear bumper. She's gonna have like a half send down this corner. Maybe try and take second place. She will. It's a lot of nerve making a pass in these conditions. Oh, even four-wheel drive doesn't help you. You cannot stop the aquaplaning. Suddenly, with that, Nitri finds herself in 6th. She started this lap in, I believe, like 14th. 12th. And she can brake much later as well. Nitri is probably just wishing this rain had come up sooner. She could have probably gotten the podium in a 625 car. So Colin Morris will take the victory at this torrential downpour on the Tokyo Expressway. How is he going so slow? Weiss takes third? I don't remember her being there. Nitori recovers to 6th place. Her intermediate tire call gained her several places on the final lap. It's not a good day to be a Civic. Front-wheel drive usually isn't too bad in the rain, so I'm not really sure what went wrong there. And now we head into our potluck race, where there's hopefully going to be a little less precipitation involved. I'm just glad I wasn't on the track for this one. This would have been a nightmare. You're green for the potluck race. We're at Trial Mountain, and it's dark again, although it's actually dawn. You just can't tell because it's that dark. As my dad takes them to turn 1. It's a potluck race, but honestly, the most of it has ended up in the 675 anyway. The majority of the grid has. Trying to find myself here. There I am. In this race, I'm attempting to control Michiko Taniguchi's Toyota Crown. It's not the most friendly vehicle, I'll say that much. Gemini gives O'Reilly a bit of a bumper. Then Gemini almost ends up in the grass. Use the horsepower. Gemini probably just got a nostalgia rush being passed by those two. You see, you go absolutely snap out of the exit there. Thrasher does some impromptu bridge racing. And even in the 675 category, Thrasher's finally met his match for top speed. And speaking of meeting their match, Carly Watts is next, and she's got a lot of that. Oh, just slam into the NSX. This thing is always looking to just catch the driver off guard, it seems like. Hikari has caught Maki. How quickly will he dispatch of the Gran Turismo? Looks like quite fast. Now I think there's signs of the sun coming up. Yes. And we got this tire squealy nonsense again. Yeah, you can definitely see the sun is rising. As well, now for these two, it's actually a battle for second, and Thrasher's now ahead. Which goes catching back up to her older brother, who, mind you, is in a car category above her. Oh my word. Definitely caught him sleeping there. There's no other way to phrase that. Send it on Steve, who gets blocked off. I guess that'll do it. Like he was standing still. No stopping. I never noticed that sign there. Well, Hikari has joined the fun. Real question on me. One lap later, and now it's visibly morning rather than sunrise. We'll probably be coming up to 2 laps to go here. Oh yeah, definitely 2 laps to go. The fastest lap's in the 2-minute range. There's only 4 minutes on the clock, so... 2 laps to go, starting here. Can Michiko do the unthinkable and track down that 750 car? Oh, signs are pointing to yes. I'm just about to run her over, though. It's also a 725, not a 750. And around the outside, yes. Despite the Crown's weird corner exit tendencies, still makes it around the outside. And now can Hikari catch and follow suit? I only pressed the button once there, game. Why did you move it twice? That was a weird way to take that turn. Of course, that horsepower in that Ford GT means that the job is not done yet for Rose. Hikari can barely see this happening in the distance. She gets the better X out of the last turn, but ultimately it means nothing when compared to a Ford GT. Hikari is still nowhere nearby, so... Oh my god, my throat. For that matter, Alice Carson's nowhere nearby these two either, so... Alright, well, after a bit of technical difficulties, we return now to where the broadcast was before the game crashed on me, and, Mitchell really likes that move, huh? and take one of the fastest turns on the track and just send it on the outside. The AI drive like a pansy, and clearly Michiko knows that. Michiko, the emphasis on Japanese vowel sounds, it will always throw me off. It's like, it's not nittery, it's nitori, but that doesn't stop me from saying nittery anyway. I'm surprised I'm not saying Nico or something, instead of Nico, or Kotori. Well, actually, you can really mess up Kotori. We have some lap traffic in defect. Taylor Lynn and her little tiny Fiat back here. Michiko just slides to the left, attempting desperately to get around the Ford GT at the last second. Oh, just send it in there like a Gran Turismo 2 AI. It just does not matter who that is, I guess. I mean, yeah, there aren't exactly a lot of rules here. So it's not like it's not allowed, but I don't think Carly's gonna be too happy with you. Surprisingly, she chooses to not get desperate into the final braking zone. JJ West will actually conveniently be here for Michiko to get some slipstream off of, so that will probably grant her the victory. Just barely, but yes. A 675 car has defeated a 750. 725. And a 750. Well, everybody, really. And Thrasher, whose car just spontaneously disappeared, ends up 4th place. And my dad, 5th. Alice in the 725 car couldn't beat 3 675s. I guess that's the nature of potluck, but it's still a bit of a mess. Why does it sound like there's a razor running? And so yeah, that will do it for this episode of the Challenge series. I don't exactly have a rigid plan in mind for next episode. I usually don't. The Stars and Stripes thing was something that just came in my head randomly, really. But rest assured I'll figure something out by that point anyway.